All right, welcome back, and so we're going to do a checkpoint. So again, here's the setup for the triangle, and verify, just double check, make sure you check to see if there's 0 triangles, 1 triangle, or 2 triangles. So go ahead and pause, and then come on back and see if you got the same thing I got. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's find the height of the triangle. So h equals b times sine A, which is equal to 5 times the sine of 58 degrees. Okay, so let's see what that gives us. So 5 times sine of 58, I get 4.24. Okay, so 4.24 is h. So A is bigger than h, but smaller than B. So this is going to have 2 distinct triangles again. Okay, so we're going to let's draw the triangle. So we're going to have something like this. Right? So again, we're going to have A, B, C, where we're going to have another triangle. Like that. So we'll call this B1, we'll call this B2. A is 58 degrees. Okay. A is 4.5, so that's going to be over here and over here. And B is equal to 5 feet. Okay. So let's do triangle A, B1, C1. Right? So this is C1, and this smaller angle here is C2. Okay, so let's do this triangle first. Okay, so let's find, again, we're going to do sine A over A equals sine C1 over C1, or no, B1. Okay, oh, and we've got this one, B1, and then we've got the longer one, which is B1. Okay, or excuse me, this is B2. Smaller one is B2, so the bigger one is B1. So now, no, we can't do this one then. No, we don't know what this one. Gotta C, gotta, yeah. No, I was right, sorry. So sine B1 over, oh gosh, that's why I'm getting mixed up. This is C. Lowercase c2, lowercase c1. That's right. Sorry about that. So B, this is just B. Okay, now, let's plug and chug. So sine of B1 is equal to B sine A over A, which is going to equal what? B is 5, so 5 times the sine of 58 degrees over A, which is 4.5. Okay, so now we take B1 is then going to equal the arc sine of 5 times the sine of 58 degrees divided by 4.5. And so now we stick that in our calculator. And what do we get? Let's do this. So 5 times sine of 58. Oops. Divided by 4.5. And then okay, so I get 70.4 degrees. So I get 70.4 degrees. Okay, so that's going to be this one. 70.4 degrees. That means that B2, right? B2 is going to be what? The supplement of that. So that's going to be what? So B2 is going to equal 109.6 degrees. All right, so we got so we got B2 here, but let's stick with B1. So we got A, we got B1. Now we just need C1, right? The angle C1. So angle C1 is going to equal what? All we have to do is subtract our angles from 180, right? So we got 180 minus 58 minus 70.4. 51.61. All right, so C1 is 51.6. 51.6 degrees. All right, cool. Now we can just find our side, the last side, C1. So now we're going to do C1 over sine of C1 is equal to A over sine A, which means C1 is going to equal A sine C1 over sine A. And so if we stick this in our calculator, we get 4.5 times the sine of 70.4 degrees divided by sine of 58 degrees. And so that's going to be approximately equal to what? It's going to be, hold on a second. Come on. 4.5 times sine of 70.4 divided by sine of 58 and I get 4.99, so that's going to be approximately 5. Yeah, so approximately so it's going to be approximately 5 feet. So C1 is going to be approximately 5.0 feet. And finally, okay, so that's the first triangle. Now what about triangle? What about triangle A, B2, C2? Well, we know C2, right? So we just found, or B2. So B2 we know we already did. Right? B2 is equal to 109.6, which means C2, angle C2, which we didn't figure out, is going to be what? It's going to be, again, we're just going to subtract the other angles from 180. So it's 180 minus 109.6 minus 58, and that one's going to be 12.4. So C2, right? So this is C1. C1 is 51.6. Got that? C2 is, hold on a second. Oh, I screwed up. I knew something wasn't right. Oh, I put 70.4. I'm sorry. Back up. Yeah, I knew this didn't seem right because it was the same as B, 5. So hold on. C1, sorry, used the wrong. C1 is 51.6. So this is 4.5. 4.5 times the sine of 51.6 degrees over sine of 58 degrees. Yep, I knew something wasn't right. Okay, let's do this one more time. So we're still on this triangle here. So it's going to be 4.5 times the sine of 51.6 divided by sine of 58. There we go. Much better. 4.2. All right. 4.2 feet. All right, much better. Now that makes more sense. Okay, so now we solved for the first triangle. We know A, B, and C, right? So A is 4.5, B is 5, C1, right? C1 is equal to 4.2 feet. And then angle A is 58, angle B1 is 51.6, and angle C1 is, angle B1 is 70.4, and angle C1 is 51.6. So that's the first one. Okay, now, what about this triangle? Well, we know that B2 is 109.6. We did that earlier. So B2, so angle B2 is 109.6 degrees. We know angle A is 58 degrees. Angle C2, again, we found that out, I think is 12 point, let's calculate it again. So 180 minus 58 minus, right? Now we're going to subtract off 109.6 and we get 12.4 for C2. So C2 is 12.4 degrees. Okay, so we got the three angles. Now we got A and B, we just need C2 now. So C2 equals, well, let's do our setup. So C2 over sine of C2 equals what? A over sine A. And so C2 is going to equal A sine of C2 over sine of A. Okay, so now, and again, let me make sure I plug in the correct numbers this time. Okay, so we're going to do A is 4.5, right? So it's going to be 4.5 times sine of C2, which is 12.4, divided by sine of 58 degrees. Okay, so now let's plug this in. And it's going to be 4.5 times sine of 12.4 divided by sine of 58. And we get 1.1. So we get approximately 1.1 meters. All right. And so for the second triangle, we've got angle A is 58, angle B2 is 109.6, angle C2 is 12.4 degrees. Then we got A is 4.5, B is 5, and C2 is approximately 1.1 meters. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.